So now, last but not least, we have Setanta. Again, Setanta is a 4-star that I think we kind of all knew was coming. He was one of those, like, kind of fan favorite type units, even on arcade. There were people that were gushing over him when he came out and wanted him for mobile. I think maybe the only thing that's a little bit odd is that he's actually a higher rarity somehow than his adult forms, which is just really weird to me. I can't say I like that, but regardless, I'm gonna get over it. So, again, as weird as that is, he actually takes a lot of inspiration from his 3-star form, so we can talk about that. But again, looking at his kit here, you guys can see he's actually already at 1,000 attack power. So that is, 10,000 attack power pretty much. So that is solid. That is really good for a 4-star. We really like to see 10,000 on a 4-star. His HP value, though, is pretty anemic by comparison, and that's kind of going to be one of the concerns with him. He's not going to be the beefiest of 4-stars. But let's take a look at the rest of him. So he's Earth traded, he's got 102 star absorption, which again, pretty standard for sabers, and 10% star generation. He's got 0.83 NP charge attack. This is actually really solid for an NP gain rate, but again, remember, he is single target quick. So yeah, him having a higher NP gain rate's not going to be that crazy for him. He's got 3% NP charge defense, a 28% death rate, nothing too outstanding about any of that. And he's lawful balanced. He is male gender. He's Brynhilder's beloved, a child servant divine, hominid, humanoid, servant, and weak to Inima Elish. And his deck here is going to be double Q, double A. So definitely solid. They didn't give him the triple quick, but they did end up giving him that extra arts card to kind of help out his card performance. So I do actually kind of like that. I think that's fairly solid for him. But the really high NP gain rate up here at 0.83 is why he only has a 2-hit arts. I think they kind of were worried about, because they needed his NP gain rate to be decent for the NP, that they were like, oh, that might make his arts cards too strong. So certainly that is going to make his arts cards fairly good, but you still have the 4-hit quick card here to help you out, even though the arts card is a little bit under average on the stacks there. Sorry, on the hit count. And again, everything else here is average, so nothing to worry about there, other than maybe only the one singular buster. Looking at his active skills here, he has very straightforward stuff. Fandom actually has this wrong, but it's basically, in fact, I'm gonna go ahead and just not even deal with this and pull up basically Atlas Academy, just so we don't have to deal with Fandom having incomplete data. But the reason Fandom doesn't is because there was some debate earlier today, and I actually posted about this on Twitter. So essentially, originally Atlas had this wrong. It wasn't Atlas's fault. The whole reason that it was wrong is because Atlas data mines, and they pulled from the game, which was wrong. So the game has subsequently updated and fixed the typo that they had, and thus Atlas is no longer wrong as a result. But that's probably why Fandom isn't actually up to date even as of this point of recording. Now, the interesting thing about this is that what they had wrong was basically that they had in the description here that this first skill had the quick up, which is actually on his second skill. And they basically had the second skill having the cleanse, which is actually on his first skill. So now this is correct. You don't have to worry about that, but it was just a typo basically in game that was causing it. So again, this first skill here will apply attack up of 3 turns. Again, 20% maximum there, all on a 5-turn cooldown with a buff negative effect. This is cleanse. So this is, again, it basically is just going to remove any negative impacts on him. And then it's also going to be a critical star bomb of up to 20 there. So really, really nice, solid skill. His second skill here is, again, going to be basically a 100% power mod versus wild beasts. So again, this is more like Proto Cú. This is more like his 3-star Lancer version there that he has this. And he's also going to have 20% quick up on this, basically, for 3 turns as well. So this is going to further help out his star gen, his damage, and even his actual NP generation. But again, having it for 3 turns is definitely something that's solid. And actually, just kind of to mention this, his first skill, if it's close to anyone's, it's actually pretty close to Caster Cú, who also has a cleanse and sort of attack up in his kit. So that's kind of where you guys can see each one of these skills is going to be similar to one of the 3-star forms. So the first one's kind of like Caster Cú, the second one's kind of like Proto Cú, and the third one is going to be like OG Cú. So basically a chance to increase his own critical strength for 3 turns, as well as a chance to increase critical star concentration for 3 turns, and grant evasion 2 times 3 turns. So you can see there is a chance to apply a mechanic here. You don't have to worry too much about this. As long as you lore the skill, it will be a 100% chance. But if you do not lore the skill, this is some like year 1 shit where, yeah, it has a chance to fail and you're just going to get really annoyed by it. So if you lore anything here, I do recommend taking this one under advisement just so you don't have that frustration. But again, from there, the critical damage that he can apply is 40%, and the star weight up is 400%. Again, Saber classes don't have too bad of star weights natively anyway, so getting any amount can just definitely help with that. So it only being 400% is not really that big of a concern. And then again, if you're ever curious about this, whenever you're reading Atlas and you're wondering, what's that little dragon trait thing? This means that this is the NPC version of the skill, because NPCs often function in a different way. For instance, they won't necessarily have something like crit stars. So they might just, instead of a crit star bomb, get instead like crit damage up or crit chance up is what you might see, which is basically what this one is. Again, his last part of his skill here is the apply evade 2 times 3 turns, all on a 6-turn cooldown, so not a really bad cooldown there for a actual decently hard survival skill. So definitely like that. Then we get to his NP, and again, his NP is 5-hit single target quick. So not the most robust of hit counts, but still, that's not bad, especially with his 0.83 NP gain rate here. He's going to apply sure hit for 1 turn on himself, and then deal damage that pierces to 1 enemy, basically. So the way that this works is that this is defense ignoring damage. I'm used to reading the Google Translates on these all the time, so I pretty much just know what they are off the top of my head. So basically, sure hit, defense ignoring damage, and then after damage goes out, applying defense down on the enemy that scales with overcharge for 3 turns. Base of 20% there, scaling all the way up to 40%. So again, just a solid, straightforward kit. Nothing too sexy, nothing too crazy, but just kind of really decent, right? Looking at the passes here, he basically has Magic Resistance B for an additional 17.5% chance to resist things. And then again, Divinity B for just a 175 flat damage added to his attacks. His append skills are all fairly standard, just kind of talking about this here. I think with a quick single target looper, you're going to want that mana loading more than ever, but the extra attack finesse might be really nice for you. The weird one and the odd man out right here is going to be the anti-assassin attack up, which I just don't actually think you're going to care too much about. Unless, of course, somehow you go up against an assassin that is a wild beast. Otherwise, you really don't care too much to unlock this one. But you probably will get the coins for free, so hey, go for it. Why not, right? Again, all the extra stuff is basically just event specific down here, so nothing too much to worry about. But the only other thing I wanted to mention, and not because it's like super strong or anything, his Bond CE gives 10% quick up when on the field, and again 10% wild beast power mod when on the field as well. But the biggest thing I wanted to show was that that is one heckin' chonker right there. That heckin' Borker, that heckin' Floofer, he is just all over this. And he is a good boy. So you will give him head pats. Anyways, let me know what you guys think about Setanta in the comments below, and I'll be sure to read them. Check you out for the next one.